So, in late March of this year, something really interesting happened in the world of AI. It wasn't one single giant announcement. Instead, it was this sudden flood, this wave of them all coming from China's tech giants almost at the same time. This wasn't just a ripple, you guys. This was a tsunami, and it's showing us that a brand new front has just opened up in the global AI race. Now, to really get your head around the sheer scale of what's happening, you have to understand one simple but absolutely critical concept. It's the unit that basically powers, measures, and even pays for everything these new AIs do, and that concept is the token. Because if you can answer this question, you suddenly understand the new economics of AI. See, it's not just about who can build the most powerful model in a lab anymore. Oh no. It's about who can get their models used the most. And all of that usage, every little bit of it, is measured in tokens. Okay, so the very first clue that something big was afoot was this really strange flurry of product announcements. It felt like literally overnight. Every major tech company in China was dropping a new AI product. And here's the weird part. A whole bunch of them were named Claw. I mean, just look at how fast this all happened. This is what's so wild. March 20th, Tencent starts us off. Just 3 days later, bam! Minimax's token plan and StepFund's step plan launched on the very same day. Then, 2 days after that, Alibaba's JVS agent goes totally public. We are talking about four massive launches in less than a week. That's not a coincidence, right? This was a strategic push across the entire industry. So, what exactly are these agent products anyway? Well, they're definitely not just another chatbot. What we're looking at here is a fundamental evolution in what AI can even do. This is the rise of what people in the industry are calling agentic AI. In this slide, this really nails the difference. On the left, you've got the AI we're all pretty used to. It's basically a super smart search engine. It's passive. It waits for you. But on the right, that's the new game. This is an active autonomous agent. You don't just ask it questions, you give it a goal, and it figures out how to achieve it. It's the difference between having a helpful assistant and having a true digital coworker on your team. And the real key here is making this stuff incredibly easy to use. This isn't some super complex software for giant companies. I mean, look at this. The process for hooking up the AI agent, Max Agent, from Minimax to your personal WeChat account is just 3 simple steps. Think about that for a second. When it's this simple, you can roll out incredibly powerful AI to like 1 billion users, almost overnight. So you've got all these new AI agents out there in the wild, starting to do real work. How do we measure all this activity? What's the fuel? What's the currency that powers this whole ecosystem? Well, it all comes back to that one word we talked about, the token. Yeah, in the simplest terms, a token is just the basic chunk of text that a language model sees. It might be a full word, maybe just a piece of a word. Before an AI can even begin to process your sentence, it has to break it all down into these little fundamental pieces. I love this analogy from Assistant Professor Ma Zhiheng. He says to just think of them as word blocks. From the AI's point of view, every single thing you do, every question you ask it, every command you give, and every single answer it gives you back, it all consumes a specific number of these tokens. Here's maybe an even better way to think about it. If all that raw computing power is the electricity flowing through the system, then tokens are the kilowatt hours on your electricity bill. They're the real metric of consumption. They tell you exactly how much AI work is actually getting done. Okay, so now that we're all on the same page about what a token is and why it matters so much, let's get to the data. This is the stuff that gives this whole explainer its name. And believe me, the numbers behind this boom are absolutely staggering. 7.359 trillion. Just let that number sink in for a second. According to one major AI platform, OpenRouter, that is the number of tokens that were consumed by Chinese AI models in 1 week. A single week. And this chart really puts that number into perspective. China's usage wasn't just a little bit higher than the US, it was more than double. But here's the real story, the real headline. This was not a one-off spike. This was the third week in a row that China's AI usage blew past the US. This is a sustained trend, and it's accelerating. So, of course, this leads to the next big question, right? Why? Why now? What are the specific things that are fueling this absolute explosion in AI, application, and token consumption of Chinese AI models? Well, it turns out it's this kind of perfect storm of four different factors. First, they got super aggressive on pricing, making these tools really cheap to use. Second, they plug them right into huge platforms like WeChat, giving them instant access to billions of people. Third, there's this intense focus on practical, real world uses. And finally, the tech itself is just getting so much better and cheaper. So fast. And what all this data really points to is a fundamental pivot in the whole industry. The AI race is no longer just about who can build the biggest, baddest brain in a research lab. The center of gravity, the whole game, has shifted to large scale, real world application. It's about who can get their AI to do the most work. So, what does 7 trillion tokens of work actually look like? That number's kind of hard to imagine, right? So, let's bring this down from the clouds and look at a couple of real world examples of how these new AI agents are actually being used. First up, we have Alibaba's Axio work. Now, this platform is super interesting because it's designed specifically for SMEs. It's what they call a no code solution, which means you don't need to be a programmer. You can basically build a powerful team of AI agents for your business with just a few clicks. And these are not just fancy chatbots. We're talking about agents that can handle complex customs paperwork for over 100 markets all on their own. They can negotiate with your suppliers. They can even run your marketing for you. It is quite literally a digital workforce in a box. Now, let's jump to a totally different world: healthcare. Here, a big chain of physical clinics called Health 100, Manian Jiankang, has teamed up with the digital platform Ant Health. And together, they're building an AI system that manages a person's entire health journey from start to finish. What's so powerful about this is how it connects everything. So, before your appointment, an AI assistant called Health Xiaomi looks at your history and recommends personalized tests. While you're at the clinic, it helps you find your way around. And then afterward, it actually takes your complicated medical report and explains it to you in simple language with clear next steps. It's a continuous loop. Now, it's really important we keep a clear head about all this. While China is absolutely surging ahead when it comes to application, experts are very quick to remind us that the US still has a major lead in the foundational technologies. Stuff like designing the core AI models and building the crazy advanced computer chips that make them all run. And this really frames the central debate for the future of AI. What's more important, building the absolute most powerful brain in a lab, or getting a good enough brain into the hands of 1 billion people? Foundational power versus mass application. Right now, we are watching two very different strategies play out in real time. The only question is, which one is going to win?